Hey Tarosphere, it's Holly from Cape Cod Creatures, and we're kicking it old school, filming at the shop today, as you can tell probably by the camera quality. But today we're doing the Ladder Tarot tag, which is a VR to MsTracyTwo. And I know this tag has been floating around for a while, but I really wanted to do it, and then I got really, really sick. So I'm taking the chance to do it now. So it is all about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you're unfamiliar with it, I happen to have a shitty prop right here. So the hierarchy of needs is basically everything that a human being needs to have to not only survive, but to live a fulfilling life. Starting with physiological, which would be your food, shelter, and warmth. And then safety, which is security, stability, freedom from fear. Belonging and love, which would be friends, family, spouse, lover. And then self-esteem, which is achievement, mastery, recognition, and respect. And then self-actualization, which is the pursuit of your inner talent, creativity, or feeling fulfilled. So, basically, in order to survive, you need, like, this stuff first. Like, you need to have something to eat, something to drink, place to live, like that kind of thing. And then, as it progresses through the pyramid, you make your way from just surviving all the way up to thriving. So, the premise of the tarot tag was to say, like, which decks you thought fit into this pyramid. Like, okay, what deck would you use for doing a reading about food and shelter, and what would you do for safety, and so what deck would you choose for safety and security, what deck would you choose for love, what deck would you choose for self-esteem, and what deck would you choose for self-actualization. And I'm actually super glad this tag came out, because I have always loved associating Maslow's with regular tarot readings, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So you don't need separate decks at all. You can straight kick it with your good old Rider-Waite Thoth deck. You're going to actually associate the suits with each of the levels. So first we have, and I love how it's the bottom level. And I love, because it's just such a grounded need. Like, so your physiological needs, which would be food, shelter, and warmth. And as we all know, the suit of pentacles is perfect for those exact needs. That's what it's all about. It's about your, it's about your money and, home environment, and, like, just kind of, like, what you need to get by. Everything, like, it's just your very grounded basic needs. So if a bunch of these come up in a reading, I know that there's something lacking there. Or either there's an overabundance of material goods. So, like, if there's somebody having, like, let's say they want a reading about why they're having so much trouble losing weight, or, like, why, like, what is their, like, their relationship with food, and a bunch of pentacles come up, and they're not necessarily, like, well, even if there's some of the good ones, we know that maybe they had a period in life where they lacked having, like, enough food kicking around the house, or maybe they maybe they overeat, or they tend to have a lot of food around because they fear being without. So that is just one of the ways that you can use it. You can also use it for, like, if a bunch of stuff comes up, like there's something going on in the home, like the home is not providing the kind of shelter it should. So pentacles are 100% the base of this pyramid. And then for safety, you have security, stability, and freedom from fear. That's a very sword suit to me. Swords would be the suit of air. And they're very intellectual. So things like your safety and security, a lot of, you see a lot of, not necessarily conflict, but fighting and protecting yourself going on in here. There's a whole lot, this is like the suit of knee-jerk reactions and intellectual thinking. So it's just kind of like, okay, well, now that you've got your home life, like, now that you've got, like, a place to live and some food to eat, you want to make sure that that place to live is a place where you can feel safe. Especially where expressing your ideas are concerned, you want to make sure it's stable, and sometimes you kind of have to fight for that. But if you see a lot of swords coming up, there's something going on with safety. Again, this is a suit in which you see, like, okay, there's heartbreaking. This woman's protecting herself from, she's ignoring something big that's going on. This person needs to rest for a while. This is all about fighting and arguing. This is definitely, like, this suit is definitely the safety suit for me. So If you see a lot of swords come up, you know that there's something going on with that level of the pyramid of needs. And then you've got belonging and love. And this is a derpy derp. If we don't associate this with the cups, then, like, seriously, we just need to hang up our tarot licenses and, like, go home. Which they don't have tarot licenses, but if they did, we just need to turn them in. You're done. Like, if you can't associate belonging and love with the cups, then, like, you're just doing it wrong. Well, I mean, you're not doing it wrong, but it's so basic, right? So this is the suit of emotion. Again, belonging and love, you know, like stuff that's going on with, you know, with, you know, how we feel, like, you know, like, okay, well, now that you've got a place to live and now that it's safe, you know, let's work on your family, spouse, your love. I mean, like, it's, you know, if this card doesn't speak to that, then I don't know what does. And then we've got, okay, so then we've got the next to last, which is self-esteem. So that's achievement, mastery, recognition, and respect. And that to me is the suit of wands. Honestly, this suit is the hardest to pin down. You often see a lot of people, including myself, stumble on it. We call it the fire suit. And while we all get that fiery passion that is conveyed by it oftentimes are just kind of like, oh, cups are emotions, swords are thoughts, pentacles is like money and needs and stuff. And then wands are like passion and like fire. So that to me is more about self-esteem stuff. Like this is some deep-seated, like, how do you feel about, like, achievement, mastery, recognition, and respect. So this is, like, chasing it, like, doing the stuff that you like to do, but also feeling respected for it and about it and by it. And, like, this is where we really learn to come into ourselves. And this is going to take us to the top of the pyramid, which, of course, will be the major arcana. But, I mean, this is where we really start to explore the stuff that makes us tick. The stuff that makes us feel good about ourselves. And you see a lot of that in this, especially this card, like the arguing. And the 7. The 7 for me is huge about this layer in the pyramid. You know, the self-esteem, like this is kind of this says to me like somebody's finally coming in like, okay, no, they think their views are worthy and they're willing to stand up and fight for them. So that to me is kind of, that to me is the achievement, the self-esteem block of the pyramid would be the wands. Like where you're starting to apply, like you've got your base of your pyramid down and you're starting to apply your passion for all the stuff that you've learned along the way to your life. And then we've got self-actualization, which is pursuit of inner talent, creativity, and fulfillment. And that to me, the cap of the pyramid, the kind of, once you've got all your stuff, like all your bases and regular needs down, you can start working on the big picture in your life, like your divine life purpose kind of stuff. And that to me says major arcana, because major arcana is going to deal with mostly like why we're here. Oh, excuse me 1 second, got a phone ringing. Sorry about that. So yeah, creativity and fulfillment and, you know, just the big stuff, pursuit of your inner talent, just the stuff that's going to make you happy. And I actually struggle a lot with, sometimes I find that the wands are interchangeable, like the self-esteem versus the self-actualization top of the pyramid. Sometimes these are interchangeable, but for the most part, I like to kind of keep them where they are, because you got to lay down your base before you can really, and it also depends on how you view tarot too, I guess. I mean, for me to consider this the top of the pyramid, like that, the icing on the cake, a lot of people are going to disagree with, I suppose, because they often feel like the majors are the that's the base of your pyramid. Like that is the foundation upon which the rest of the tarot is built. And then the pips are your day-to-day stuff. But I have to disagree with that, because your day-to-day is your foundation. Like getting up out of bed and making sure that you're fed and you're clothed and, you know, you're happy and like your spouse is happy and your kids are happy and like just, you know, that you feel all right with who and what you are. That is the huge foundation. Like you need to have that shit down before you can really start working on the big stuff in the major arcana, at least for self-reading. So it's interesting. I always find it interesting when you see a lot of the major arcana coming up in a reading, because to me that says, they're really struggling with something big, like it's huge. It's a huge thing, but maybe most of their stuff is taken care of. Or sometimes you see it in combinations, like you'll see a lot of major arcana, but you'll also see a lot of, cups. So they've got some really big things going on right now, but they're so preoccupied with boyfriend-girlfriend stuff, they can't quite figure out like their big life purpose. Or you see a lot of major arcana and a lot of pentacles, which means that like they've got some stuff to do in this lifetime, and they've got a lot of major things. Like they've got some really important things going on, but they need to get a job first. Like, it's very interesting to view tarot that way, especially in relation to the hierarchy of needs. So whenever I do a reading, this thing is actually not very far away from me. So yeah, that is, I know it's a little bit different from how the tag was intended, but that is kind of how I view the Maslow's hierarchy of needs as applied to tarot reading. It's just, I don't think you need an individual deck. You apply these levels to the suits, and it can be different for you the way that you look at it. I know some people will say security, stability, and freedom from fear. Maybe that's going to be a little more pentacles to them. And this one is probably going to be, or maybe this one's going to be a little more major arcana, or maybe this one's going to be more wands, and this one's going to be more swords. But I mean, it depends. It depends on the person and how they look at it. But I personally like to go through it: pentacles, swords, cups, wands, major arcana. It just makes a little more sense to me. And also it depends on which hierarchy you print out, because there are several different interpretations of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I guess is what makes it so interesting. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging in there for me on this one. It's a short little VR, and I hope that gives you some insight as to how to use the hierarchy a little bit differently. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see you later, Tarot Sphere.